Your brain will lie to you 10 times in the next 20 minutes. Don't take my word for it, test it. Every glitch you're about to try is a real peer-reviewed effect that labs use to probe perception. Keep sound on where I say so, sit about an arm's length from the screen, and pause whenever you need extra time. Quick safety note. If you're prone to motion sensitivity or photosensitive seizures, skip the moving pattern segments when I flag them. Ready to meet the friendly fraudster in your head? Ground rules. You don't see with your eyes, you see with your brain. Eyes deliver incomplete, noisy data. Your cortex infers the most likely world that could have produced that data. Most of the time, this is brilliant. Sometimes it misfires in ways we can predict. We'll run 10 demonstrations. After each one, I'll explain the mechanism and give you a variation to try later with friends. Keep a score in the comments, 0 to 10. How many worked for you? Glitch number 1. The blind spot. Vanish. Hold your phone or sit at your screen so the following symbols are roughly eye level. A plus sign on the left and a filled dot on the right. Close your right eye. Fix your gaze on the plus with your left eye. Now slowly move closer to the screen, then farther. At a certain distance, the dot will vanish, even though you're staring at the plus. Keep breathing and keep your eye on the plus. Don't chase the dot. There it goes, gone. Take a few centimeters forward or back and it reappears. What just happened? Each eyeball has a literal hole in the retina where the optic nerve exits. No photoreceptors, no pixels. Your brain usually fills in the missing patch with a guess based on surrounding color and texture. By lining the dot up with that anatomical blind spot, you made the guess visible. No software update, no magic, just inference. Variation. Put the dot on a textured background. When it vanishes, your brain paints in the wallpaper where the dot should be. Glitch number 2. The color afterimage. Flip, you'll see a bright red square centered on the screen. Stare at the small white cross inside the square for 20 seconds. Try not to blink much. Then the frame will switch to a white screen. Keep your eyes on the cross. Ready, stare, and switch. Do you see a faint greenish square floating on white? That's not on the screen, that's in your visual system. Red cones in your retina fatigued. When the red vanished, the balance of cone signals shifted toward the opponent color, green. This is the opponent process theory at work. Your brain encodes color as red versus green and blue versus yellow channels. Fatigue one side and the other side wins for a moment. Variation. Do the same with a blue cross on a yellow field. You'll briefly see its complement. Glitch number 3. The McGurk effect. Sound on. You'll hear bar, bar, bar while you watch a mouth silently form far, far, far. Many people perceive far or a weird hybrid like var, even though the audio is bar. Replay with eyes closed and it flips back to bar. Your ears did not lose. Your brain fused visual and auditory cues into a single speech percept and chose a best fit. Speech perception is multisensory. Lip reading and audio arrive together in everyday life. The McGurk effect shows that vision can hijack phonemes. Variation. Try it with a friend mouthing ga while playing bar. You may hear da, a compromise percept. Glitch number 4. Shepard tone. Sound on. You'll hear a tone that seems to rise and rise without ever getting higher. Close your eyes if you want and just listen. It's not paranormal. It's a clever stack of sinus tones an octave apart, fading in and out as they climb. As the upper tones fade, lower ones fade in, and your brain tracks a center of gravity that always seems to be rising. This is the auditory cousin of a barber's pole, endlessly moving upward yet going in circles. Composers use it to build tension that never resolves. Variation. Try a descending Shepard tone. Some people feel it in their stomachs, like a perpetual drop. Glitch number 5. The waterfall illusion. Motion-sensitive viewers skip. Stare at a downward-flowing waterfall clip or a field of moving stripes for 30 seconds. Keep your eyes on the center. Then cut to a static rock wall or a still image. For a few seconds, the still scene appears to drift upward. Motion-sensitive neurons, especially in area MTV5, adapt. When motion stops, the opponent channel wins briefly, and you perceive motion in the opposite direction. The world didn't move, your baseline shifted. Variation. Use a rotating spiral for the adapter and a still face for the test. The face will seem to expand or contract, a powerful reminder that motion coding feeds into shape. Glitch number 6. The Stroop trip. On screen, you'll see a list of color words printed in incongruent ink, the word red in blue ink, green in yellow, and so on. Your task, say the ink color out loud as fast as you can down the column. Ready, go. Most people stumble. Reading is automatized. Naming ink color requires cognitive control to override the default. The extra time is a clean measure of interference and executive function. In labs, variants of Stroop reveal attention deficits and emotional biases. Variation. Do an emotional Stroop. Replace color words with emotionally loaded words and neutral words in various inks. People are slower to naming words that grab them emotionally. Glitch number 7. Change blindness. Two nearly identical photos will alternate with a brief gray flash between them. Your job, spot the difference. You might stare for 10 seconds before it pops. Without the flash, motion cues would make the change easy. The gray mask disrupts motion transients and your brain resets between frames, failing to bind the two scenes. We think we encode entire scenes. In reality, we save a sparse sketch plus attention pointers. Change blindness reveals how little you hold in mind from one moment to the next. Variation. Do this with a person. Have them remove and replace glasses between glances while a third person briefly blocks your view. Many won't notice, a classic door study effect. Glitch number 8. Size lies. Ponzo Ebbinghaus. First, the Ponzo illusion. Two identical horizontal bars lie over converging railroad tracks. The top bar near the narrower end looks longer. Your brain uses linear perspective to infer depth. The bar farther away must be longer to cast the same retinal size, so you perceive it as longer. Second, Ebbinghaus circles. A central circle looks bigger when surrounded by small circles and smaller when surrounded by large ones, though both centers are equal. Context recalibrates size. This is how you judge objects in the wild. A lone apple on agent plate looks tiny compared to the same apple among cherries. Variation. Photograph your hand near different-sized objects. It will look larger or smaller next to smaller or bigger context. Glitch number 9. Hollow face hack. A concave mask of a face lit from above will look convex, and as it rotates, the nose seems to follow you around the room. Even a printed face glued inside a paper bowl can do this. Your visual system has a strong top-down prior. Faces are convex. That prior overwhelms bottom-up shading cues, and your brain flips the concavity into perceived convexity. The following happens because your brain forces a 3D interpretation onto 2D cues, and the geometry of a concave surface under rotation produces motion that your brain interprets as a convex face turning to track you. Variation. Use a paper plate. Draw a face, push the nose inward, and light it. Back up a few meters and tilt your head. The effect strengthens. Glitch number 10. Rubber hand, light, safe version. Sit at a table. Hide your left hand behind a small box or book so you can't see it. Place a fake hand, a stuffed glove, or even your right hand positioned oddly where your left would be visible. Now have a friend gently stroke both the hidden real hand and the visible fake hand in sync at the same locations. After a minute, many people feel ownership of the fake. Some flinch when it's threatened. Your brain fuses correlated touch and vision into a body map. Proprioception is a construction. Variation. Do asynchronous strokes and the illusion weakens. Synchronicity is the key variable. Halftime science. Why glitches exist. Perception is not a camera. It's Bayesian inference. Prior expectations. Faces are convex. Lighting comes from above. Rooms obey perspective. Combined with likelihoods from sensory data, edges, motion, color, timing, to compute a posterior best guess of what's out there. The glitches you tried expose the priors and the cost of efficient coding. Coners adapt to sustained color to save bandwidth. Motion detectors adapt for the same reason. Speech centers integrate lips and sound to improve comprehension in noisy environments. Sometimes, integration overrules ground truth. Cognitive control suppresses automatized reading so you can name ink. Fatigue or emotion degrade that control. None of this is failure. It is optimization that occasionally produces illusions under lab-like conditions. Bonus glitch. Sound-induced flash. Sound on. A single dot flashes on screen while you hear two quick beeps. Beep, beep. Many people see two flashes even though there was one. Now the reverse. Two flashes with one beep, some perceive one. Audition and vision cross-calibrate in time. Beeps have sharp onsets, flashes can be ambiguous. Your brain uses the more reliable temporal cue to edit the less reliable one. Variation. Do it with headphones in a quiet room. The effect strengthens. Bonus glitch. Chronostasis. Stopped clock. Glance quickly from your phone to a ticking analog clock. The first second hand often seems to pause. Your brain stitches a saccade, a quick eye jump, into a stable world by backdating the first image after the saccade. The interpolation makes the first post-saccade scene feel slightly longer. It's an editing trick you don't notice until you look for it. Putting it to work. Practical takeaways. Curiosity beats cynicism here. These aren't cheap parlor tricks, they are diagnostic tools. Designers use afterimages and contrast to make interfaces readable. Filmmakers lean on change blindness to hide cuts. Musicians and game designers deploy Shepard tones to evoke endless ascent. Clinicians use Stroop variants to assess attention and emotional interference. Therapists exploit body ownership malleability to treat phantom limb pain. Understanding that perception is a controlled hallucination helps you forgive your memory for being gist-based and your senses for being context-bound. If you want to run a friends and family glitch night, here's a ready plan. Print a blind spot card, plus and dot, prep color squares, load the McGurk clip, play a Shepard tone file, cue a motion adapter, waterfall or spiral, set up a Stroop slide, prepare a change blindness pair, draw Ponzo rails and Ebbinghaus circles, craft a paper bowl face, and bring a spare glove for the rubber hand demo. Offer people the challenge, get 810 and I owe you dessert. Between demos, ask them why they think each effect exists in the real world. You'll get better at spotting the brain's shortcuts. Myths to drop. Seeing is believing. No, seeing is hypothesizing with high confidence. I'll notice big changes. Often you won't. Attention gates updates. Color lives in objects. Color lives in your nervous system's interpretation of spectra under assumed light. Hearing is immune to vision. The McGurk effect laughs. My body map is fixed. It's plastic, and that plasticity is a lifesaver after injury. Quick troubleshooting. Didn't see the blind spot vanish? Adjust distance. Each eye's blind spot sits about 15 degrees temporal. The color after image weak. Stare longer. Use a bright but not blinding screen. Don't blink much. McGurk didn't flip? Try larger face video. Turn on captions off, raise volume, and make sure the mouth is clear. Shepard tone felt flat. Use good speakers or headphones. Low-quality playback kills the blend. Waterfall made you queasy? Skip that one. Sensitivity varies. Stroop too easy? Speed up and time yourself. With practice, interference drops. Change blindness too obvious? Increase the mask duration between images. Ponzo Ebbinghaus failed. Make the context bigger. The illusion scales with context strength. Hollow face didn't follow. Back away. Depth cues invert at distance. Rubber hand didn't take. Increase synchronous strokes to 2 minutes. Sync and spatial alignment are critical. The deeper point, your brain's job is not to reproduce reality, it's to guide action. Shortcuts that save milliseconds and watts of energy win, even if they sometimes hallucinate harmlessly. In the wild, opponent colors protect you from saturation. Motion adaptation keeps your world stable when your head moves. Multisensory integration declutters speech in a noisy cafe, and context-based size judgments help you catch balls in depth. Illusions are the receipts. They prove the strategy by breaking it on purpose. Wrap-up challenge. Over the next week, try spotting natural versions of these glitches. After staring at your phone, look at a wall and catch a faint motion after effect. While someone speaks behind a glass door, notice how much you lip read. In a grocery aisle, test Ebbinghaus with fruit displays. Glance at a clock and catch chronostasis. And keep a simple tally. How many of today's demos worked for you, 0 to 10? Drop your score and the strongest effect in the comments. If you beat 8-10, brag. If you got 3-10, no worries. Individual differences are part of the science. One last experiment before you go. Close your eyes for 3 breaths. Open them and choose one corner of the room. Name out loud 3 things you can see in that corner that you hadn't noticed all day. That tiny shift, directed attention, is how you hack perception on purpose. The world didn't change. Your model did. And now you know the model is tweakable. Thanks for playing fair with your brain's unfairness. Next time someone says, "I know what I saw," smile, not to dismiss them, but because now you understand the machinery behind the confidence. The brain is a brilliant liar in the service of truth. Sometimes it takes a good illusion to see that clearly.